Hello, lovelies. Cory here with Wilder Woman. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 23 of the 31 Days of Tarot. We are almost over. Yeah, I'm kind of sad. Okay, leaving all that aside. Today's prompt is, what is the tarot deck that you had to break up with? As in, you no longer resonate with the energy of that deck. If you ever did, because I have one of those scenarios. So I have 3 decks that I want to share with you today. And this first one, I never resonated with to begin with. And you're like, what, Cory? Why did you even get it? Let me explain. So the artist of this deck is the artist of the Pookie Cat Tarot. And I love her artwork. It's so cute. And I've even purchased her rune deck set. It's in a circle shape for my son, and he loves it. He thinks the cats are hilarious. And I do too, because they're really cute. And she came out with this Parenting 101 hedgehog deck. And I saw the cartoon images, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And so I just backed it. Read the fine print, people. I should have read the fine print. This is a majors only deck, which I'm like, I like full decks, please. Not to knock anybody who uses and loves majors only decks. But I don't personally read with them. So this is the only majors only deck that I have, and it's because it was an accident. Good job, Cory. And so, like I said, I saw just the artwork snapshots, and she didn't have any of the names of the cards on them. I just saw the artwork itself, and I was like, oh, that is so freaking cute. Well, the cartoons are cute, but I am having a hard time reconciling. Can't speak tonight either. I'm having a hard time reconciling the cartoon with what I have come to associate as the energy of that particular card. And I'll show you what I mean. So this is Parenting 101. It's just a cover card. Here's the Fool. And it's a parent dragging their child behind them. And her eyebrow, you can't really see it with my webcam, but her eyebrow is, slanted. She's clearly upset. Not happy face, dragging this unsuspecting kid who's like, ooh, butterfly. And I'm like, okay, energy of the parent aside, the kid seeing the butterfly, possibly Fool energy, but really, when I think of the Fool, I think of taking a leap of faith. And I don't really see that here, do you? Probably not. Be honest, probably not. So, and it's like that with all of them. The Magician, the kid getting into makeup, not really seeing creation or manifestation there. High Priestess, and again, mom is pissed in like every card. Pissed or with a concerned face, like, don't do that. Which, in the context of like a parenting cartoon, is funny. But if we were trying to say, okay, in each of these scenarios, think about the energy of this card, and that's how you deal with it, I'm still not even translating it. So I just kind of struggled when I first flipped through this of like, I don't got a chunky hedgehog munching on flowers as the emperor. I feel kind of insulted on behalf of the emperor. And just like, not quite. This one, I can almost kind of see, but the rest of these, just like, I don't. See, that one's just about being a brutish sister, I feel like, not necessarily justice. You feel the justice will come after she's ripped the leg off of her teddy bear in the form of, Mom or Dad, save me. But the rest of these, yeah, just, it's not there. So for me, this is a really cute art deck that I have in my collection and I've never read with it. I never will. This deck and I didn't need to break up because we didn't even start dating. It was a blind date. I walked into the restaurant and said, nope. I just happened to still have the deck in my house. Like I said, they're cute cartoons. As far as like an actual deck, not seeing it. This next one is also one that I struggle with my reconciliation of what's going on in the actual art of the card and what associations I've built up in my experience of reading with that card. And that is the Lo Scarabeo Tarot Nouveau deck. It's a gorgeous deck. I love the artwork. And honestly, that is the primary reason why I purchased it. I love this art style. Had I known that the Mucha Tarot existed before I bought this deck, I would have bought that instead. As it is, I bought this one. And basically, the lesson that it has taught me is that not every deck is for every person. And at this point, I'm just like, life is too short. I have too many decks that the second I draw a card, boom, the messages are there, the connection is there, everything flows. With this, I almost have to stop and ignore what I'm seeing and like mentally picture this card in another deck. That's pretty bad, right? And I'm not knocking anybody that can read with this deck and is like, it flows and it works for them. If it works for you, fantastic, because this is a really gorgeous deck. It just doesn't click for me. So like here, this is the Empress. She has pretty flowers in her hair, but I'm not really seeing that fertility, abundant creation, Earth Mama vibe. You know, I'm not making that connection with that piece of art. This is the Queen of Wands, and it's all blue too. So, you know, where's the fire? Where's the action? You know, she's sitting there gorgeously with a staff. Okay, it's a pretty picture. Two of Pentacles. Is the balance with her trying to balance her hips in that chair? I don't see it. Okay, Two of Cups. Kind of makes sense. You know, you've got a couple there. Knight of Cups. Okay, he's at least on a horse. I'll give him that. Okay, now I will give that this deck has a really, I love this Devil card and the Death card. Where's the Death card? In this deck, for me, gorgeous, gorgeous. But they're not, you know, they deviate slightly from the classical Art Nouveau style. You know, they're in that style, but the color use and, you know, with the skulls, and it's not wholly traditional. You know what I mean? There's a lot more bold energy in these two. And that could be why I'm drawn to them a bit more and can actually read that message there. But like, okay, the wheel kind of, there's a wheel and she's blindfolded. So, you know, you kind of get that something's going to change. There's going to be this, you know, movement here, but it's not, when I think wheel, I think turn of the seasons, you know, pendulum swinging back the other way. And that I don't see in here. Okay, the Six of Pentacles. Where's the generosity? It's not really, you know, I picture it like a giver. It's about, you know, sharing some of that abundance, because the lesson in the Five of Pentacles, you know, that poverty, but the underlining message that help is there if you ask. And then as things start to turn the other way, you realize, okay, the energy of the universe is to give what is put out. So changing your mentality, changing your mindset, you know, giving, you end up getting that abundance back. There's that trade-off. This is a pretty girl, mostly naked, you know, leaning by some flowers. It's pretty. I love it by itself. I feel like they took existing images and tried to force them into a tarot deck, and it didn't quite fit. Ten of Swords. I don't see despair when I look at this card. I don't see rock bottom. I see a pretty girl crying. There's like one tear. And that's the other thing too. Like all of the facial expressions of the people in these cards are mostly like, I hate to say it, but it's like resting bitch face. I am ripping this deck right now, and that is unfortunate and probably undeserved, but like this is a perfect example of that. Although, if any of the queens was going to have a resting bitch face, it would be the Queen of Swords. Okay, all laughing aside, gorgeous deck. I can't work with it. And I've tried for years to, okay, this is the year that I'm going to really like bust it out and work with it and like get to know this deck on a soul level. I've come to the realization that's just not going to happen because I've been saying this since like 2011 when I bought this deck. It's been 7 years, Cory. Give it up. And that's what I'm doing. Giving it up. So it'll stay in my collection until, you know, I find somebody to maybe pass it on to. It happens to be one of the ones in the fancy Ipsy makeup bags. And then, you know, we'll rehome it, hopefully to somebody that's going to use it and freaking love it. I know there are people out there that have to be reading with this deck and adore it and like really get messages and like energy just flowing from it. For whatever reason, I'm not one of them, which is really unfortunate because like I said, I loved the artwork. Now this deck, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. It's a really popular deck, but I'm just like, I'm not connecting with the artwork. And the more I try to work with it, the more I'm like, I really don't like the artwork, which I know some people are like, this is stunning. It's gorgeous. The use of color, the art. I get it. This is like not my deck. And I don't know why, but it's not. The second I opened it up, it was like I was a balloon because I was really excited about this because everybody freaking raves about it. And then the second I opened it out of that cellophane, all the air went out of my balloon. I actually haven't really read with this deck. I did like a 3-card pull when I busted it out of the cellophane, but I mean like sat down and read with this deck. I have not done And I don't think that I'm going to. So this is another one that I haven't even started a relationship with to break up. This was like 7 years of me coming back and saying, let's try and make it work. And like, F it, we're done. We're not ever getting back together. Where's Taylor Swift when you need her? All right, moving on. This deck. This is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Cue the booze. I get it, you guys. And if you love this deck, freaking awesome. I have a lot of girlfriends that love this deck. In fact, they are the reason why I bought this deck, because I was like, ooh. Plus, I am a huge, because how could you not be, Stevie Nicks fan. And Crystal Visions, I mean, come on. Yeah. So the more I look at it, the more I get upset, which is not good. Because I know there's a lot of people, this is their cup of tea. They love this deck, and I don't, and I love dragons too, and there's a shit ton of dragons in this deck. And I'm not feeling it. I tried clearing it. I tried putting it back in order. You can see it's in order now. Smudging it. I got nothing. I got nothing. Not a mucho. And there's a slightly different color palette to each one. The frickin', because that's what they look like to me. It's not what they are. But these jeweled pentacles look like eyeballs. And I'm just like, why are there random eyes in my card? And it's a jeweled pentacle because it's Crystal Visions, crystals. But I love there's animals in it. But I can't connect with that. I have a huge block there, and I'm just like, sorry. To anybody who really loves this deck. Because please don't take the next sentence that I say personal. But this deck annoys the shit out of me. I'm sorry. I wanted to love it. I bought it thinking I was going to love it. And I really don't love it. I kind of hate it. Yeah. This was a first date gone bad. So, I'm sure at some point I will also rehome her because she's literally like in perfect condition. The box is a little beat up from moving it around. But I just, it's not for me. It's not for me, and that is absolutely okay because, I mean, you guys saw my deck storage. It's not like I don't have a crap ton of decks to choose from in order to read with. And you guys all know at this point, I have like 10 at least decks on pre-order at the moment. Problem. Yeah. And I'm waiting for a lot of those to show up. So I'm not really going to lament losing or parting with, 3 decks. At least 2 of them to rehome them. I'm not sure that I will be rehoming the Parenting 101 deck. But the Terra Nuevo, the Terra Nuevo and the Crystal Vision stack will probably be rehomed Again, I just need to, you know, find a girlfriend to trade with, or, you know, I've given decks to my nephews in the past, although I have a sneaking suspicion, considering that these boys are like, they really love the Norse aesthetic. Let's just put it that way. You know, guys that still play D&D on the weekends. That somehow the crystal visions and the Art Nouveau tarot won't exactly be up their alley either. So we'll think about folks that I can rehome these to. But until then, they're just going to sit here. And it may even be something that I hold on to for a while, and as my daughter gets older, if like the Crystal Visions Tarot is something that she's like, ooh, mommy, I love that. You know, this might end up being her first like middle school deck, but we'll see. Still thinking I probably want to start her with a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because were I to do my tarot journey all over again, I probably would have picked that up first. Not to knock the Dragon Tarot, because that was my one and only deck for many, many years, and it still holds a special place in my heart. But starting with the Rider-Waite-Smith, having that foundation, because so many decks are based off of that system, it's just a really easy route to take. So those were the 3 decks that I had to kick to the curb this year. What decks did you have to break up with? Were there any? Are there any? Or are you smart enough to Google search all of the images of your deck before purchase, like this dummy didn't? Because if you did, you're clearly way ahead of me. Now I do. Like, if it's available, I'll Google the out of that shit. However, a lot of the decks that I'm getting now on pre-order and purchasing them before there's an image of anything listed. Yeah. Because apparently I just like to gamble. Living on the wild side here. All right, guys, I have dragged this out far too long. It is 10:30 at night, and I'm getting a little hysterical. So leave a comment below if you'd like to share what decks you have broken up with or gonna break up with in 2018, because I would love to hear about it. I want to know who here like has an extreme attachment to any of the decks that I mentioned, or who agrees with me. Like, Cory, you're not alone. I didn't resonate with that one either, because then I wouldn't feel so bad about totally hating on these decks. I am sure I will catch you in the next videos, lovelies. Thank you so, so much for watching. It has been a joy taking this journey with you. And until our next video, blessed be.